Hello everybody, just doing a live here on Facebook this time, not using Restream. My hair is a mess. Let me see if anyone can see me. Is anyone on here yet? Not yet. Just wait for some people to get on. Still nobody watching. Wow, 3,300 people. Let me put on my hat because my hair looks like shit today. That's where my MAGA hat, just to ruffle some feathers. You know, I'm doing everything wrong because I'm not listening to any rules. So why would I not wear a MAGA hat? M0Nika, let me just add you in here. How do I add you in? Let me see here. There it is. Add Monica on here. M0Nika P0D0Lski.
Hi.
You like my hat?
I
I'm
love
trying to be a
it.
troublemaker. I'm good at troublemaking. That's my profession nowadays. So I do anything to stir shit. And wearing a hat, I guess, is like a big bad thing nowadays because, of course, Trump's racist, I'm racist, and blah, blah, blah. The shit show continues. How you doing?
Good, how are you? I'm gonna go get my
Doing good as much as, huh?
I'm gonna go get my hazmat suit. I'm so scared of this.
Hazmat suit. I actually did a live. I don't know if you saw that one. Maybe, I don't know if it was on Facebook, but I went to Home Depot and they're selling them. It's just a painter's suit, right? It's like $10. So just get that, take care of it. You can wear it for a long time. Wear it everywhere you go.
Okay.
And just, basically have it. If they want you to wear a mask, then just wear that whole thing. That's what I'm going to start doing. Like, if I really have to go into a store where I have to wear a mask, which I'm going to like stay away from as much as possible.
Yeah. I ordered these online. It's
Really?
Charter of Rights. If anybody wants one, I have like 20 of them. So if you are coming tomorrow, Chris, I can give you one.
Yeah, I'm gonna come tomorrow. We kind of have to now. There's no other choice anymore.
we don't have a choice. So I'm sorry, but with all these, like, I don't know, I heard Susan say yesterday about that apparently we don't have a government currently, and what is doing is not legal. Like, all these orders that she's putting in place are not legal.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
But
I
everyone's
guess.
enforcing them though, so it's like, what do you do? Are you frozen? What's going on here? What the hell?
Has anyone had any problems getting into
Looks like you
stores
were
and
frozen
stuff?
a bit.
Oh, really? Okay. Can you see me now?
Yeah.
Can you see me? Okay.
Yeah, it just kind of goes in and out a little bit.
Weird. I can see you well. Huh.
Yeah, I don't know if
Weird.
anybody else can see that happening, but is it freezing for anybody else, guys?
Julie, can you see us? Julie? Can you just give a thumbs up if you can see both of us? I know they've been totally screwing around with lives and stuff, so I'm not surprised. I mean, this whole agenda is rolling out quite smoothly for them because all these people are complying to this bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm so fed up with this.
Yeah. Well, the problem is like, in the beginning of this, it was like, okay, this whole thing hit, and we're like, oh, this sucks. And then after a while, you kind of got used to it, and it was summer, so no one went to the marches. Everyone just kind of sort of forgot about it. Masks weren't mandated. But now it's like every week they just tighten the screws. So you can't just kind of get used to anything. They're just like putting the pressure on and just making people more and more angry, like on all sides, like anti-maskers, us, and the masking idiots, like, divide and conquer. That's what they're doing. It's just like out of control.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know, Chris, if you're following this guy, Kevin J. Johnston in Calgary. He's running for mayor. He's got some crazy stories. I just posted to a live. Artur Pawlowski is a Polish guy in Calgary, and he did a service today in his church, and Kevin was speaking. You should see. You know what? These people are scared of everybody. They're scared, and that's why they're pushing harder than ever, And
Yeah.
you know, we have the right to be angry because people are living a lie. They're basically scared of a freaking common cold. Everybody's getting tested, and all these freaking DNA. It's taking your DNA.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's and then Winnipeg, right? What's going on in Winnipeg?
Oh my God,
Non-essential
like what the
clothes are
hell?
being
Like if people
clothes are becoming non-essential. That's communism. It's communism right in front of your eyes.
totally communism. And then like that, like I don't know if everybody
Pretty
on this
soon you're
stream,
gonna
like
have
just
no
tell them who you are.
bananas.
Well, tell them who you are and where you're
Well, let
from,
me
because I
tell
think some
you.
people might not know who you are. Where you're from, obviously,
Yeah,
that's a big one, obviously.
yeah, I was born in Poland. So I lived through a communist country. Now, unfortunately, the things that I saw in communism are not fun, and a lot of Europeans see the same thing that's happening here. It's just obviously they're going to tell you, oh, we're going to become communist. No one's going to tell you this. This is all this is all it's all secrets that basically, it's their narcissist. The government is our narcissist. Basically, they're gaslighting people, and people are complying. And when Poland, it was, the same thing with this whole Agenda 2030. I mean, everybody was poor. Didn't matter if you were a dentist, a lawyer, a doctor. Basically, they wiped out the middle class. So you didn't have, there was no such thing as middle class. Everybody lived poor.
Yeah.
Nobody owned properties or drove cars. Everything you basically got thrown in like 3 or 4 families. We lived in with 4 families in a 600 square footage rental that they threw us in.
That's like
You
at
have
least
no
16
idea.
people.
Yeah. And believe me, we had to get along, because if you don't get along, you're going to end up on the streets. I mean, it wasn't fun. There was, we all had to sleep in freaking beds together. It was absolutely insane. I mean, our bedroom, we had like 2 bedrooms, and my mama was sleeping on a pull-out sofa. There was no such thing as bananas. You go to the stores, you couldn't buy chocolate. There was no toys. You basically, martial law was in full effect. 7 p.m. curfews. If you didn't follow the rules, the police state would be throwing tear gas at people, beating them up. If you wanted to go to church, the police would chase us to church, because we lived right next to the church. So obviously, being Catholic, we went to catechism and all that. So you had to literally run, because if the police saw you running into church, you'd get beat up, So it's, yeah. And the thing is, here they're trying to do the whole thing with where education will be free. In Poland, education was free too. Colleges, universities were free, but you basically at this point are going to get so indoctrinated that people are going to
It's all propaganda, right?
it's part of the agenda. There was no such, yeah, there
And
was
there's
no
no,
such thing as fruit. You'd be lucky to have a banana.
like,
You'd be
how
lucky
insane
to
is
have.
that?
It's insane. It's
And then people
absolutely
just don't believe
insane.
that. Well, the thing is, just people, like, they should start seeing it. And like I said, I do a lot of these videos, obviously, you see them, like, it has to get worse before people understand, like, this is not about what you think it is. We're seeing this in Manitoba, where you can only get an essential item when they say alcohol and marijuana is essential, but then you can't buy a laptop. Maybe you need a laptop. Maybe you need certain clothes. Like, why is it their duty to dictate what you purchase? I don't understand how they can make a statement or make a reason. Well, like, what reasoning do they have for that to be a part of their thing to stop COVID? Like, I don't know how people fall for it. Like, but it's good. Unfortunately, it's good that they do this stuff, because it'll wake up more people.
Yep.
Clue in, but this stuff unfortunately has to happen. People don't have the experience like you do and the information that both of us do, and just looking at this stuff, a lot of people just, they've labeled us conspiracy theorists, all our friends and family, or whoever the hell they are, don't look at that information. That's just for weirdos and stuff like that. So they're not going to look at it, and then they're not informed. It's just weird to be informed, is what it is nowadays, which is the downfall of our society.
Well,
Information, It's, you know what I mean? If you're smart and you want to know what's going on, then you're a weirdo. You're strange.
Yeah, unfortunately, to some people as well, I said, you know, our lovely PM has already said it, exposed it up front. Now, people have to realize that once they expose it, before it was, you know, us crazy conspiracy theories with our aluminum adjuvant hats, right? Tinfoil hats, that obviously everybody should realize that there is aluminum in those vaccines and aborted fetal cells and everything else. I'm not going to get into the vaccines, but you know, people, unfortunately, and so once exposed, that means that we are in this right now. I mean, what's happening is in Winnipeg is the global reset. I mean, here we're, you know, we've only got a couple of months more, and you know, everything, like, as everybody knows, it's all about the vaccine. You know, the vaccine is the magical cure. And the whole masking thing, I mean, obviously, you know, they are continuing what they're continuing right now. What's happening, we're living in a zombie apocalypse because they see that all of these complied.
Exactly.
I mean, yesterday I went to Superstore, Save on Foods, and this other like a small little market. I didn't wear a mask, but everybody is masked. Everybody
I
is
know.
masked. I was the only one without a mask. Like I
It's so
went through
weird.
every aisle.
I don't know. You
You
just
know?
wonder. It's like the thing that I not hopeful for, but I think will happen is like friends and stuff. They just do it because they don't want to get yelled at, even if they don't believe everything we do. Like they don't want to wear a mask, and they just do it because they don't want to get, you know, into situations where they got to get felt like they're doing something wrong and dirty looks and this and that. Like they don't have the backbone like me and you do. But I
Yeah.
think when what people are not going to wear a mask, they're not going to take the vaccine. From what they stated, down, we'll see what happens. But
Yeah, and that's where that, and you know what? And the thing is, it would be too good to be true. I mean, they already ordered 70 million vaccines. They are just waiting for that tip of the iceberg approval. The vaccines
yeah,
are here. They're Pfizer is here, AstraZeneca is here. All of them are here. So it's just a matter of they can approve it overnight. I mean, I don't know if anybody has seen, but some woman did a vaccine trial for COVID, and she's got these freaking big
oh,
blisters. They look like something was poisoned
really?
in her. Yeah, I mean, adverse reactions. But you know
Oh,
what?
geez.
People will still not believe it until it happens to them. And you know, we're compassionate people, and people think that we're just these conspiracy theories. And even if when you tell people about the whole, you know, oh, you know, they've come out and said it right out that, you know, this is all about a global reset, people are like,
Yeah, they
okay,
don't get that.
okay. I mean, they're just saying, yeah, you're still a conspiracy theory.
I don't
Okay,
know, but it's there.
whatever.
Like,
I'll, you just believe your stuff. I'll believe what
well,
the
yeah,
facts are. You can believe the
exactly.
lies. I'll believe the facts.
Well, because the thing is, once you've been doing this enough, a long period of time, we've been trying to inform people for months. We've been doing it for years from other stuff. So it's like, I don't know. There's only so much you can do for these people. You can't just, what are you gonna like lock them in their house so they don't take the vaccine? Like it's their choice, but it's like kids, and then you like maim your kids or something happens to your own kids after people that you know all your life are telling you what the hell to do, and you don't want to believe them. Like, how are these people gonna feel? And then what? I'm gonna feel like shit, but it's not my fault. I warned you and you treated me really badly. Like I can take it, but it's like it's not just you, it's about your kids. So try to look at both sides. I know a lot of people are just very stubborn. It's just like, no, I'm not gonna look at that. I'm like, you know, like we're just a few months
Because,
away from biblical history happening. Like this is a
yeah,
2,000-year-old prophecy.
yeah. This was planned for over 50 years. I mean, this is nothing new, you
Oh
know.
yeah, for sure. You know.
Unfortunately, the reason why people are so brainwashed is because it takes about 20 years to fully program people to actually
Yeah,
believe their own bullshit, right?
yeah.
People
So they've
are
already got a
believing their own
generation.
bullshit. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
so they've got a
is,
full generation and parts of other generations indoctrinated into this whole situation, right? So, like, yeah, I
yeah.
think that's that the guy who worked for the KGB. I saw that YouTube video from I think it was Yuri. I forgot his last name. He was saying, like basically to bring down a society and change the way they think and morph them into whatever you want them to believe and think. So yeah, it makes sense. So if we're human beings, we learn on repetition. So if you repeat something that's good every day, guess what? You're going to believe whatever it is that's good. You will believe it. If it's something bad or negative or whatever the hell it is, you'll believe it. It's all repetition. That's how we learn.
Yep.
And they're just repeating the same phrase everywhere you go in the media. And you can see it and understand it when you don't know what to look for. So they just think this is just part. The world is just turning in a certain method for whatever reason. No, it's all calculated. It's all planned from like 50 years ago, like you're saying. So I don't know what to do. Just...
I don't know either, but the saddest part is that these people are so scared and they really believe that this vaccine is going to be the cure. And the most frightening thing is that they think they're going back to normal.
Yeah.
That's the most scary thing. Well, if I do this so many times, well, if I just take the vaccine, I'll be able to travel. I'll do anything to travel. I'll do anything to be able to get my life back to normal. And unfortunately, it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be a very sad story for those people that have that kind of mentality. They can't think for themselves. And I pray for them.
The thing is,
that's all I can do.
Totally.
That's all we can do.
Well, and the problem is it's not just a regular vaccine where they're trying to just screw us over to money anyways. The problem being obviously is this is a nano vaccine that has, very microscopic microchips inside your blood. It's not even like when I read about this 25 years ago, I thought the microchip would be like something you could pull out. Well, obviously technology has advanced past that point. So what are you going to do? Like clean out all your blood and put in new blood? Like once it's in your body, it's like, who knows what the hell's going to happen?
Done.
And you can't pull it out. You're like,
you're done.
You're done. And it's like, if you believe in them, like you're going to get a wireless signal to your body forever. Like methods to tear this whole thing apart.
There's a reason, Chris, there's a reason why too these 5G towers have been put up during the first lockdown, whatever you want to call it, back in March, April. They're waiting to crank them up. Unfortunately, these nanotechnology will not be able to work without humanity and the 5G technology. And this is why they're waiting for that to be cranked up. I mean, this is why they're pushing this so bad, because at the end of the day, I mean, if people really think about the fact that we already have they're already talking about these self-driven cars, self-driving cars, and with the whole communism thing, people think that they have their own properties. You're not going to own anything. And as we know, it's you own nothing and you'll be more happier than anything. So they're taking, first of all, your privacy rights away. You have no privacy. Yeah. You'll have no privacy. And I mean, we don't have any privacy now. I mean, there's a reason why they all want us to have those smartphones, because 1984, Big Brother is watching us. I mean, come on.
Yeah, listening, watching everything. I know it's an expensive spy device that we're paying for every month, which is just insane on top of it. But at least me and you are using it against the system, so it's like that's the only good thing about it for us, is we're trying to Facebook everything.
You have to speak up now before that is taken away from you. I mean, right now, Australia, and that's what people are forgetting too, is that we're part of the Commonwealth. Commonwealth. I mean, Australia, New Zealand, UK, Wales, all those were under Commonwealth. So, I know everybody is rooting for Trump and, all the power to everybody. But, people are forgetting that we're dealing with a different type of system here. We don't have a constitution. We don't even, if anything, we have apparently Charter of Rights. But,
no one's following it, though. None of the stores are following the Charter of Rights right now. They just don't care. They're just basically like, I went into JJ Bean today, and then, they want you to wear a mask and stuff. And then he's asking me where my mask was. I'm like, well, I don't have my mask. He's like, well, I can't serve you then. So I'm like, I told him, I go, what am I in? Is this Nazi Germany? Am I 44 Germany? I'm like, why can't you serve me just because I don't have a mask? Like, I understand. Like, I'm just trying to make a point with them, and then they're just like robots, and they're just low wage workers, and then they don't care, and they want to pay their rent and stuff. Like, But then I lost it on. I was swearing at everybody in the store, and I had to walk out. Like even the people in the lineup, the guy's like, "Why do you have to be so rude to them?" I'm like, and I just told him to F off, because after a while, when there's so much of a buildup,
I
you can't help
know.
it. And I don't
It's
want to be rude,
hard.
but I'm like, it's so hard. I'm like,
Yeah. It's so damn hard.
this was gonna happen, but like, there's ways around it. Like I can go to Save on Foods in Burnaby, and there's a Starbucks in there if I want to have Starbucks. There's not going to be a mask mandate in Save on Foods, so that means Starbucks won't have the mandate. But after a while, I'm just like, I don't know. Like they're just squeezing us. We're having less and less places to just kick back and just enjoy ourselves. So
Yeah,
we're
and you
going to
know
be
what,
stuck in our homes.
Chris, you know what people are not also getting is that the problem is that people are so programmed that as soon as they hear that word mandatory, it just programs in their heads, you have to do it.
Yeah.
So they don't realize it's not the law.
Yeah, it's
Mandatory
not the
means
law.
nothing. It's a bunch of fear that basically they're fear mongering people, thinking it's mandatory, you got to put it on.
Yeah, it's a
Same,
stupid word, and people just take it as a law.
yeah. It's the type of wording that they're using, and then they're going to do the same thing with mandatory vaccines. They're
Oh,
going to say, yeah,
totally. That's
well, it's
exactly the case.
mandatory vaccines. Now, all these people are wearing masks. They're going to run. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they won't run for the vaccine because I know a lot of people said they will not take the vaccine. But who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Yeah, when
if
push comes
people,
to shove.
well, with the UN
Yeah.
agenda, it's right in there. It says forced vaccinations, forced, not mandatory,
Yeah.
forced vaccinations.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah, so
I
you
don't
kind
know. There's a reason why,
of wonder, like,
yeah.
well, one of the things that I think they might do is that like they'll like at JJB, and like next year you'll have the Canada Health Pass, I think they call it, and then
Yep,
you'll have
COVID
to prove
pass.
that you've been, yeah, you'll have to prove you've been vaccinated. Maybe,
Yep,
for the first little while, let's say,
yep.
well, if you're not vaccinated, then you'll have to wear a mask. Well, we're gonna wear masks forever if we don't get vaccinated. How stupid is that then? Like, but then obviously it'll be. We're gonna have to see. This is basically the craziest time in human history,
In
and it's just
history,
coming
it's
down to the
history. Yep,
last few
yep,
seconds of it. If this was a time clock, this would be the last few seconds, maybe the last minute in world history is what we're living in. It's just a few months away. Like, world history has been going on for thousands, millions of years, or whatever the hell, at least thousands.
yep,
So we're gonna see what happens. It's gonna be crazy, and it's interesting, and I don't know. We're here for the big show, this reality show
yep.
of
I
COVID-19.
think it's gonna get worse before.
Sorry?
Yeah, it's gonna get worse before. It's gonna get worse before it gets
Yeah.
better. But we just have to keep on standing up. We can't.
There's
Right now,
there's nothing else to do.
this is the last. This is our last chance. If people don't stand up,
Well, yeah,
I don't
there's
know what to
nothing else to
say.
stand up. Like pretty much every weekend should be out in the streets at
Yep,
this point, like almost. That's
yep.
how I feel. And I feel bad not hanging out with my kids, but I'll have to just do that on other days. Hours on a Sunday, I'm gonna have to just.
Well, look at Toronto.
Well, yeah, we just have to devote our time for it, because like if all this stuff happens, there's like we're not gonna have a life anyways. That's how
No.
people have to look at it. There's nothing really else that we should be doing on a Sunday. All the people who are watching, all the people who realize this, all my friends list, like, make your Sundays available for this. Like, we need to have just thousands and thousands of people. Like, I don't know what else to say or what to do. And I'm guilty. I'm not going to every single one as well and stuff like
I
that. But
know. I know. Well, you do what you do go
well,
when
yeah,
you can. Problem is that Chris, problem is that people, when you live in communism, you're not allowed to have fun. What have they done here? Where can you go?
yeah,
If
you're
you
not
want
allowed
to
to have
go,
fun.
you
Exactly.
can't have fun. Where can you go? Casinos are, I mean, obviously casinos are, it's all bullshit anyways,
But I
but
used to go there though. I used to
yeah,
go and
it's
hang out.
fun.
I don't
Yeah.
like to gamble.
No,
It was
but
nice.
like
It was.
the music was fun, right? You're with people, you're having a good time, you're
Yeah.
chatting, human conversations. That's what we should be doing instead of now everybody's freaking social distancing, practicing their rituals. Their Satan
Yeah.
rituals. That's what people are practicing. Satan rituals, because there's no
Yeah.
evidence with social distancing and wearing a mask. And
All this stuff.
just blows my mind.
Well, and
I
the
don't
thing
know.
is, like, even if you want to go from their data, you just look at the amount of people that have died. Like yesterday, they had like one person died. The day before that, there was a lot, 11 people. But then I'm just thinking, you know, me and my wife, like I said before, we talk about this all the time. And then we were thinking a lot of those people, they were from the care homes, I think all of them. And
Yeah.
it's probably because they got the flu vaccine. Like the flu vaccine gives you the flu. If you're old and compromised, you could actually die from it, right?
Yep.
So like, we don't know what the hell's going on behind the scenes that they're not even
Well,
telling us.
have
And
they
that's like
ever
another big problem.
have they ever told us on mainstream media how many people are dying of dementia, how many people are committing
No,
suicide, how many
no.
people are dying of heart attacks, cancer? Cancer is the #1 cause. Opioid overdoses, you know, now depression,
Oh yeah.
mental issues, anxiety. All these kids are basically how many kids are, you know, how many more parents are going along with the vaccine schedules. I mean, there's a lot of deaths in vaccine from vaccines and vaccine injuries. How many, you know, that's the thing. And with no one investigating into anything, they're basically just going along with the plan because, you know what, these people are health professionals. I mean, if you study who they work for, the WHO is Ted. I just actually listened to that Kevin J. Johnson today, and let me tell you, he has the person that's running the WHO. He has literally uh, uh, suicided 2 million Black people in Ethiopia. And this is
Ted
who
Rock, yeah.
is running the show. These people.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yes,
heard he's an
yes,
Ethiopian
yes,
terrorist, basically. That's
yes,
what I've heard.
yes, yes. And now
So
they're
it's like,
basically running the show.
yeah, and he's not even like the thing is he's not even a doctor, but he's
No,
dictating world health across the world, like
yeah,
basically an
they're,
Ethiopian terrorist. Like I
yeah,
know people just they don't know that information, they don't choose to
they
look at
don't.
it, but it's like it's
No,
just so it's like
yeah,
overwhelming how insane all this.
yeah. It is overwhelming, but you know what? That's the thing is if somebody will, you know, tell you that, you know, you same thing with, you know, as soon as somebody has some kind of a, you go to the doctor, they give you, it's all about diagnosis. What about looking at the deeper the deeper issues? Has anyone of them talked about vitamin D3 with
Yeah,
K2,
nothing.
vitamin C,
No.
natural remedies? I mean, we've all freaking got common colds, and now apparently common cold doesn't exist. Everything is COVID. Just like people are dying of heart attacks. You've had a car accident, you've died of COVID. It's crazy.
I know. Well, and the thing is, like, COVID is just a form of the flu. They never, like, I tell people, you know, they've never reacted this way another flu every other year. And they're like, well, you know, COVID has way more deaths. I'm like, okay, even if it has double the deaths, if you want to believe those numbers. So that means, so 600,000 people dying every year from the flu. That's okay to you then, just because now the
Yeah.
World Health Organization, every other government agency is making a big deal of, since we've all been alive, since our parents have been alive, the flu deaths were not a problem. Even if it was half the deaths, that doesn't matter to you then, but now it matters because it's double the deaths. So like there's so many ways to look at this and just prove how stupid it is. We should have been wearing masks every day of our life if
Yeah.
you're scared about
Since
dying and if you're
March.
scared.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And
just
if yeah.
but you can't really get, like, the thing is you can throw all the facts and everything you want at all these people. It doesn't matter. It's like
It
whatever's
doesn't
on
matter.
TV is what. Yeah, they
People
would
hang
just say, you
on.
know what?
They love those people.
They would just they would
They
just say, I don't
praise
believe it
them.
unless it's on TV. Yeah,
Yeah, and
if
they
it's not
talk
on
like
TV, I don't
this.
believe it. That's not that.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
and they talk
so
like
that's all it is,
this.
right?
They talk like this.
Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah, and they just don't. And then when you bring up a good statement, they're like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I don't want to talk about it anymore because they want to shut you down because they don't have anything else to come back with. So
They
I'm like,
don't. They don't. Well, because you know they are the health professionals, and so we only can believe them. You cannot have an opinion because you are a conspiracy theorist, and that's all it comes down to. Alicia
yeah,
Johnstone posted this really good. I shared it too. She posted this thing. There's a nurse that she spoke to, and they said that they know that the hospitals are empty, but they've signed a contract where they are not allowed to talk about it. So this is the thing is,
she's
Yeah, it's take a look after it's right on there. Came from an actual nurse here in BC. It's they have signed a contract. They have to be silent, and anyone that chooses to be still in the healthcare. I mean, in a way I feel bad for them, but it's kind of selfish of people not to come forward, knowing, especially because they're hurting themselves and they're hurting us. And more
Wait,
doctors have to come forward, more nurses
well,
have to
yeah,
come
if you want
forward.
to like, there's ways to like do it so you don't show your face. Maybe hide your face. Use some kind of a little more difficult, but some kind of software to change the way your voice sounds, something like that, or even just make a meme or something, or a post saying I'm a nurse. Like create a fake account on Facebook, change your name, and just do something. Like say something. Like you're in this community too, and I understand you don't want to lose your job, but you're going to lose everything soon. I mean, like,
you're going to lose everything.
Part of the solution.
You're not going to even have a job.
Well, that's the thing.
You're going to be on collecting universal that CERB that they're going to turn into a universal income, where you're basically not going to have a job anyways, because they've already bankrupt Canada.
Yeah, so but the problem is a lot of these people just like it goes back to square one, where they've never looked at the information we do. So now they're starting to like, well, what the hell's going on? I don't get this. Like they don't understand the whole hierarchy of all this and where it's all being real agenda. They're like, well, I don't know why they're not wanting me to discuss this. Maybe they don't want people to be scared, or maybe they just don't want to know for privacy reasons. Like, who knows what goes on in their mind? They don't realize what it's all about because they're not a conspiracy theorist, in quotes. So it's just the same situation over and over again. But it's like if something doesn't smell right, then there's a reason for it. Like they don't just do things for that just for the hell of it. Like there's an actual agenda.
Well, the way I look at it is there's censorship for a reason, because if we weren't a threat, then they wouldn't censor, they wouldn't block us, they wouldn't ban us, they wouldn't take down the videos.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like there's always two sides of a story, and why are people only listening to the one side, where basically if the government loved you so much, first of all, they tell you at some point that, oh, cigarettes are so healthy for you. There's so many things. I mean, we care about you so much that basically all these people are homeless. We're bringing in more people into the country, but hey, excuse me, what about apparently we're in COVID, and so why are all these people still coming into the country? Don't you think that they probably would be carrying a lot of diseases?
Exactly. I know.
We're not helping the homeless. We're not helping these kids that are basically have drug crisis or everything else. No, let's just bring in the freaking bad people.
I know. It's so weird. Like I've gone to the downtown east side. I filmed it. You probably saw it. And then just like, no one's doing the social distancing. Obviously, they're not cleaning their hands or having a shower. There's no hygiene. There's nothing, right?
Yep, nothing.
They're not wearing masks either. So how the hell are they surviving? They should be the first person to get this disease because they should be immune compromised and all this other stuff. But they're surviving up to a point, but then they die from a drug overdose.
Yeah.
More drug overdoses compared to COVID, but that's okay. It's just like, it's like I said, if you want to act, there's a lot of questions to ask and there's a lot of answers to prove it's all fake. It's just a matter if you want to question things. And no one really wants to question things. They let the news reporters do all the questioning. Well, who are they questioning? The news reporters like Paul Johnson, that asshole from Global News, on Friday or Thursday, he's basically making it seem like, we don't believe in real science.
Oh, yeah.
It's all our fault, that stupid idiot. It's like, how stupid do you have to, how are you even a news reporter when we have people here, me and you, on live phones that have a lot more common sense and we have a lot more answers than these investigative journalists that get paid like $100,000 a year who went to school for journalism. They don't know anything. They're just idiots.
Because everything they do is basically it's an indoctrination. They only know it's all lies. I mean, as you know, everything that we've studied is we've all been lied to, and unfortunately that's all they know. So even with doctors, they don't know that fact that vaccines have adverse reactions. They just know that they're safe and effective, and this is all part of a marketing strategy. Just like now with the banging pots, whatever, do your part, because you're basically basically we're danger to society, you know, so you get your flu shot because, you know, it's going to help the healthcare system, or, you know, we're herd immunity. You can never get
Yeah,
herd
you don't want.
immunity.
Yeah, and they don't want to overwhelm the healthcare system. The same thing they said back in March. Meanwhile, like, just so nuts. It's just so easy to prove. I'm thinking of actually going down to the COVID testing center at Central Park, because my friend was saying that the lineup stretches right around like Central Park, not around the whole thing, but around the block a bit. Like, people are just getting tested left and right. Like, there's lineups to go in there. We went there with Ryan Kalbaba and some other people in the summer, and there was people getting tested. But I think now the hysteria is that it's at boiling, so there's like even more people. All these hypochondriacs are getting tested as soon as they have like a going there and getting tested, and they're part of the problem. It's the exact reason why we're in this situation, is all the dummies getting tested, and oh my God, they're positive. And I know people personally who've been tested. Not going to mention names, but part of the problem, right?
But let me tell you, Chris, honestly, and there's a reason why they only have one test for everyone, which is basically the one that they freaking put up your nose all the way down to your brain. They basically scrape your freaking brain barrier, just like exactly what the vaccines do. They basically damage the brain barrier. So basically, when they scrape that, they're damaging it. So anything, you know, whatever the geoengineering that's going on, anything that you're eating, you inject more crap into yourself or whatever, that's all going to give you all these health issues. That's what people don't understand, is those PCR tests, just like in 2010 with the whole swine flu. I mean, if anybody's done some research on Jane Burgermeister, she was a journalist in Sweden. She basically this is all just history repeats itself. And back in the day with the whole swine flu, they basically they contaminated the tests, and they contaminated the vaccines with the actual virus. So
yeah, for sure.
So you know, as much as we say we want these people go get your vaccines or whatever, they're going to actually be a danger to us, because they're the ones that are going to be spreading the more disease.
Well, that's the thing, yeah.
Right? So
well, yeah, the vaccine actually has the living virus in it. That's how you build an immunity to it. So you know what I mean? It's like you're gonna like next year, all these people literally are gonna go get COVID. Literally, like, okay, like, does anybody not realize that? Like, some people do. They're like, oh, but it's just a small portion to build up an immunity. I do understand that, but at the same time, I've witnessed it myself. My mother-in-law took a shot a couple of years in a row, and both times she was, you know, very sick on the couch. She couldn't move for like 3 or 4 days. Now, obviously, she doesn't take it. So it's like, that's the same thing that's going to happen. So there's going to be a lot more deaths next year. And then they're going to say, oh my God, look at all the deaths now. People, please go get your vaccines. And then people are going to be like, oh my God, we better get it. Look at all these people dying, not realizing it's coming from the vaccines. It's just like clown world, like times clown world on steroids at this point.
Well, you know what? It doesn't just end with the one shot. You're going to have to get another. Then next year you're going to have to get another, and it's never going to end. And there's 270 more vaccines coming down the pipeline. This has been an agenda for the longest time, and right now is the time, because they know that this global reset right now is working, and they're basically moving faster than speeding light, because they don't want people to wake up. Because the more people start questioning things, that's when they know that their agenda is going to go down the tube. So, you know, so far, maybe I'm wrong. So far, it's been going pretty smoothly, because look at all these people. I mean, the minute you take that mask off, the minute we all say no, that's when it ends. And unfortunately, we're not there.
Well, that's the thing. This can end in 30 seconds. It doesn't take anything. Like, you don't have to go to a march. I said it, like, no one has to do anything. Just pretend it's 2019. Throw your mask away, open up your business, and that's it. Go do whatever it is you want. It's easy, but obviously it's not going to happen. Very few people are on the same wavelength.
People are
and
scared.
It's so simple. Like, it's just, you don't even have to like fight anyone. No physical interactions. Like, zero has to happen in order for this to go back to normal.
Yeah.
But of course, if that happens, they're gonna like release more bioweapons and all this shit. It's like, I don't know. Like, there's nothing else we can do. Like, if nature's gonna if these people are gonna do with it, releasing a nuclear weapon, it's like, how can you stop someone who has so much power from doing like crazy stuff? But right now they haven't done anything super destroying our lives, so we can still get back on normal life. But people just don't have that will or fight in them or that common sense. So it's like we're stuck here. We're in limbo. I call it, we're waiting. It's almost like waiting for a bus, and we're waiting for everybody else. And it's like catch up. We have to wait for them to get to where we are, and that's all we can do. We're in limbo. Me and you and other people like us are waiting for other people to get up to speed, and we're trying to fast track it. But there's only so much, you know, a small that's been screwing us over for like basically generations. Like what the? It's a tough thing. So we do the best we can, and we can move forward.
Yeah, we just have to, you know, still be positive. You know. Go whenever you can to stand up. I mean, you know, if people can't come, they can, but you know, you can't obviously get people to come out. But you know, I can tell you that, you know, when we were in Poland, I mean, the people are the ones that made a difference. I mean, there's a few of them, and there's millions of us. If only people stood up, unified, you know, unity. Solidarity, come together and basically stand against the tyranny. That's the only way we can change it, and it is possible. It just takes a lot of people to do it. I mean, you know, it really is. You know, who knows? I mean, I know that last time when we went to the, you know, to the march, there was people that were waiting on the sidelines, and they started joining in. So I honestly hope that more and more people just start joining in, and just, you know, just whether they want to wear a mask, you know, if people still want to wear their masks, at least they're there to come and stand with us, and that's the most important. You know, whatever, you know, if people want to wear that mask, but the most important is to unify, to stand together, because I'm sure that they don't want to be taking the vaccine. I mean, if anyone's done the research, there's RNA, there's aborted male fetal cells in there of a 14-week male, the lungs, from the lungs. So again, that's gonna alter their DNA. I mean, it's gonna, you know, if they've already skipped, they're not doing it in animal testings, and they're just basically going straight to the humans. We're all just lab rats, and it takes about 15 years to make a vaccine safe. So yes, they are going to be deadly. I mean, I know that, you know, you don't have to be a scientist or a doctor to realize. I mean, they're experimenting in those labs. You know, we're all just lab rats. It's a depopulation, as per Gates Foundation, Melinda Gates Foundation. I mean, they're not people that want good for other people, and they've already admitted it, that if they do a really good job through vaccines and CO2, they can depopulate half of the world. It's happening. Georgia Guidestones is not a conspiracy theory either. Everything New World Order is on there, what is happening now. And 500 million people, they want to, by 2030, they want to get down to 500 million people on Earth. And then it doesn't end there. There's Agenda 2045. You know, if anybody if anybody makes it to that, I mean, we'll be lucky to see 2030. If people don't stand up now, we'll be lucky to see 2030. Let me tell you. And you know, there's a reason why. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but look how much structures are going up. How many apartment buildings are going up downtown, or like towards in the cities. How much structures are going up? You barely see, like, I don't know about you, but I barely see I don't see any houses being built. Now everything is about little apartments, little condos. You know, it's like, just that's a sign right there. And let me tell you, construction right now.
They need to keep they need to keep us in human settlement zones, and that's what cities are. And they want to keep us like control people if they're in an apartment building.
Part of the
right, because you only have one way in, one way out. So, you know, and then obviously the real estate aspect there is just so bloody expensive. That probably is calculated as well, because I know years ago they had an investor program where you could actually basically buy your way into Canada. I know they targeted the Asian community to bring them in. And, you know, if you had enough money, I think it was over $1 million or something like that, you could come into the country. You would give that money to the Canadian government tax-free, and they would give it back to you.
It's called bribery.
So I don't know if
it's called bribery.
It's a conspiracy theory. What's that?
It's called bribery. You can enter here if you basically give us
Yeah.
this money, and then basically, it's yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, they wanted all these investors to come into Canada. It's like, why did we really need that to happen? We didn't really need investors.
mm-hmm.
The population would have grown on its own. We didn't have to have rich people coming here and buying everything up, which is what they did. So it spiked the price of single family homes. That
Yep.
situation.
Well, and
I was
Chris,
going to say part of that situation led to the development of all these high rises, which is in conjunction with Agenda 21. So is it a conspiracy theory? I don't know, but now we do have all these high rises that
not
not
a
even people can
conspiracy
believe.
theory. If
Well,
people
yeah, you look around, it's like,
look at the World Economic Forum, I mean, you could look at the UN agenda. It's a website. It's a legit website. I mean,
yeah, and
they came out and said it straight out. I was gonna say something. Another thing is too is that why are we not able to question where our money is going? Like
well, that's
you know
another
what I
thing.
mean? Like
All the
how do we
taxes you pay.
know? Yeah, like how do we know that throughout the whole time that you've been paying taxes, you haven't been contributing to the UN agenda, which we
Oh yeah, for
know
sure we are.
we
Yeah, you
know
don't know.
it's
You
been,
just
it's not, sure, you see the carbon tax, you see the GST, you see the PST, you see all these bullshit, but everything else is hidden, and they're all stealing money. They're all basically, UNICEF. I mean, UNICEF is real. All these
oh, that's
charities
another
are
thing.
evil. Donate, oh yeah,
Totally.
donate $2 to the Children's Foundation. What about, and then all these kids are still dying of cancer because you can't refuse chemo. Did you know that if your child or if somebody's child has cancer, God forbid, knock on wood, you can't refuse chemo. You cannot refuse
Yeah, that's
chemo.
and they're giving you radiation,
That's a
but and
red
then that's the
flag.
same thing that
Yep.
happens from a nuclear war, radiation. But that now it's good for your body because it kills cancer. But a nuclear war is based on radiation that kills everything.
Yep.
Like it's just like
Radiation times
okay,
1,000. Radiation times 1,000. Yep.
yeah, it
Yep.
kills all your cells,
Yep.
including the good ones. So that's
Yep.
okay though.
Kills all your cells.
And they've not been able to find a cure for cancer. But hey, we've got a cure for COVID in 9 months. Like okay, let's just follow
Well,
everything.
there actually is a cure for cancer. Killed off all the natural homeopath doctors because God forbid you have a cure, right? There's no
Well,
money
that's
in
the thing.
the healthy people. So
I know, like
everybody's gotta,
we're natural organic beings, so we should be ingesting and using natural organic
yeah.
products from the earth, not chemical-based products that we have everywhere that don't work with our system since we're an organic being, organic product, right? A human being here. So
Yeah. I want to something. I want to show you something. And before all this happened, I went into a like a natural store last year, and look, take a look at this. I'll show you. My battery's going low, but look at.
natural health freedom, stop Health Canada. I'm reading it backwards. Do you
Oh
want
yeah.
my, what does it say? You want my
It says
Adam?
stop unelected. Listen to this. Stop unelected Health Canada bureaucrats from suffocating natural health products with chemical drug regulations. So they basically want to get rid of all your natural remedies, including vitamin D, vitamin B, and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
basically, so this is back in the day. Oh, this is I did this 2019. So I went to a health natural food store, and they said, please send this in because they're trying for the last 10 years. They've been trying to stop all the natural remedies. And, that's the thing. This is where the money is at. There's no money in natural remedies. And, especially during these times, that's another thing that people need to fight is the fact that they're trying to get rid of all these small vitamin shops and this and that. So
Yeah.
basically you won't have anything to rely on unless, you make your own, I guess, things. But
Then you got to grow everything and stuff. It's like,
yeah. And then the crap that they're spraying up in the skies, I mean, unless you have like greenhouses and artificial lighting and stuff, that's the only way you can do it. Because at this point, all that glyphosate that they're spraying in the air, all that glyphosate they're injecting into those vaccines, I mean, it's a proven fact to cause cancer. So You know,
Oh yeah.
that's why you have a pandemic of cancer. I mean, cancer is the #1 killer. I remember 1980s, it was heart attacks, right? You barely heard of anyone dying from cancer. I mean, not that I
Yeah.
know of, but now it's all cancer. You know, even little are dying of cancer. You're not something, obviously, they're injecting vitamin K right from birth, Hep B shots, which are only given to drug addicts. And then you've
Yeah,
got,
I know. I just
you know, you've got 72 doses of vaccines. In Poland, when I lived there, we had 3 doses. In 1984, if you study, there was only 24. Now there's triple. There's 72 doses of vaccines given to children. So you got to.
what happened now? She froze. Look, I don't know. She froze. I guess we'll wait for her to come on, and I guess I'll just keep talking. I don't know what's happening there. Anyways, we're talking about just, we're going down a bunch of different rabbit holes here today, discussing a lot of different things that are going on. Probably a lot of stuff you guys realize is happening, and we're trying to make nonsense, because that's all this stuff is. This is just insanity. Let's try to see if we can get her back on. Where's my glasses now? Probably gonna wrap it up here soon. But let me just see if I can get her on here. Is she on? Let me see. I lost you. Bring Monica on camera. So we're adding her now. Hopefully she's.
Oh, here I am.
Yeah, I don't
Sorry,
know
my
what
phone was
happened.
ringing and then it just took me out. But yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
this has been going on for a long time. It's just that people are, like I said, this is all a distraction from what really is going on, and
Totally.
that's what they got to do in order to bring in their agendas. They have to distract you with being on your phones and turning on the TV
So much
and
stuff.
so much crap. It's just turn off your TV, people. Whoever watching TV, if you really want to hear the truth is within us. We're like, Chris is not making any money off these videos. I'm not making any money. I mean, we care about people dearly. We're here for people's health, and we want people to have a normal life. Kids deserve a future. That's what most people are fighting for, whether you have kids or not. I'm sure you're not ready to go 6 feet under, right?
And it's like, are you?
Like
Yeah.
we're here for the right reasons.
Pretty much,
It's
yeah. Well, I can't really keep quiet about
yeah.
this stuff anymore, especially I've known about it
You
for so many
can't.
decades.
You
And
can't
it just,
keep quiet.
and now my face is out there, like people from my kid's school and other just friends of friends are like, what the hell's he doing? This and that. Like, what's he talking? They
That's
just think I've
fine.
lost my mind. I'm like, well, we'll see who's crazy in the end. Next year is basically, it's only a few months away. It's up to you. Like, I've been preaching stuff, and I'm sure they'll watch my stuff.
Yeah.
Just either they get a kick out of what I'm
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
or maybe they believe it halfway there. I don't know, but we're just gonna see. It's like, I can't, like, at least if I can save one person from dying or whatever the hell is gonna happen, one person from getting the vaccine, like, I don't know, it's our duty.
Well,
But the thing is, there's a lot of people who know what's going on and they're still silent, which just kind of blows me away. They send me like little messages on Facebook Messenger or a text message. I'm like, why don't you just share that on your profile? Send me the
they're
messages.
scared.
I know
They're
everything.
scared to expose.
Well, not everything, but I know like most of the stuff. I'm like, oh, I already saw that. But just like post it. Stop being so scared about what everyone thinks and shit. Like, I don't understand. Like, just get in the fight.
That's the
Like,
problem. That's the
like
problem.
they're scared of what people think. I'm like, don't worry about what people think, because the ones you're worried about aren't thinking, and that's just their problem. But at least the more people like me and you that speak out, we don't look like crazy idiots and psycho conspiracy theorists. Like,
No.
how come all these people are
Silence is
talking about it?
compliance. Silence
Yeah,
is
like if there's
compliance.
so many people
Yeah.
that are
And silence is
conspiracy theorists, like these
compliance, and
followers are going to say,
yeah.
you know what? Maybe I'm wrong, because they don't. There's a lot of people who just go either way. So if everyone's a conspiracy theorist, guess what? They're going to follow us. And if there's not enough of us, they're going to follow the other side. So it's like, just get on board, and just once you start doing it, you feel way more free when you don't care what people think.
Yeah.
It's so freeing. You just feel like, finally I can speak my truth. I don't feel like I'm censoring myself. That's what
Yep.
censoring themselves without even realizing it. So get in the fight. Stop being
I know.
a little chicken shit and just get off your ass.
Well, right now, whoever's watching or whatever, you know what I can tell you is right now this is not the time to be silent, because in couple of months you might not have a voice. I mean, as you know, they're censoring everything, and it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. You know, people are. I think it's gonna get worse before it gets better. But it's really bad.
Well, yeah.
The way things are going right now.
The thing is, I'm on my second account. I'm on my second Facebook account because my other account I'm banned for 30 days. So,
yeah.
You know, I have like 2 different accounts. I even have even more that have like 4 or 5. But, you know, it's just like I don't want to keep jumping through hoops to do this crap. Like, this is not my job, and I don't mind doing it.
Yeah.
I've kind of live and breathe this stuff at this point because it's the only thing that's really happening that makes sense to discuss. I'm not going to sit there and talk about sports or whatever the hell.
Yeah. Well, there is going to be no sports. I mean, I don't know if you heard, but Odessa was talking about it, where basically her kid plays soccer, and now they're not even allowed to watch on the field.
Oh, like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, they won't even blow the whistle until people go into their cars. Okay, what is that? You're in a field. I mean, people, you know, just like she was saying, she goes, a pedophile can walk by in the park because apparently they have more rights. They have more rights than a person that's trying to protect people, or, you know, have common sense. But yet, you know, it's just, it makes no sense.
Because the thing is, it's outside and it's not airborne. And even if you think it's airborne, like, can't you just do 6 feet at a soccer game outside? How does that, like, and obviously, this is where people should start questioning, well, that doesn't make sense. So, well, like, what the hell's going on? But in their mind, they just brush it off. Like, I don't know, but, you know, I'm just listening, whatever. I don't know. I just got to bring my kids to soccer. Well, it's like, I understand that, but if Dr. Bonnie's been in this field for 30 years, she's a health officer. Shouldn't 100% certainty that what she's saying makes total sense? And obviously, if it doesn't make sense, then Dr. Bonnie, why are you telling us to do that? Why are you telling us and making it whatever, a mandate or whatever you want to call it, not to watch our kids soccer? And the thing is, my kid was in soccer, but he was playing up until this year and he didn't want to play. I think it's probably because of what's happening, because he listens to us.
Yeah.
And like, you know, we live in one area of Vancouver, and then the soccer team that he's on was in the city, and in order to go, he couldn't play in East Vancouver because we're not in that jurisdiction. So how does that make sense? And yeah, so it's like it's like we already have these like invisible borders where the kids can't even play in certain areas because they're not from that location, even if it's 5 miles away. We still can't go. And then there's a coach. He is allowed to go. He's in Burnaby, and he's allowed to go into East Vancouver to coach. But his sons are in Burnaby. Obviously, they live with him, so they can't play. They can't play in Vancouver, and he only lives like half a mile away from Boundary Road, which is, you know, the dividing line between Vancouver and Burnaby. So start cluing in, like how are people justifying what's going on here? And if you think it's strange, well, wait until more strange comes.
It's gonna get stranger. It's gonna get stranger.
And this is good though. Like, this is I honestly I welcome all this stuff.
It is good.
In the beginning, they could justify a lot of different things, but when you're going into it, it makes sense because it's all about control. So now the next thing, you know, I predict eventually we're gonna have a curfew here, like California mandated one last week in California. So how does a curfew make sense for a virus? So I can't leave my house. It's 10 to 5 a.m. in California. So I'm not allowed to leave my house at 10:01 because the virus is going to jump out behind a shadow and kill me.
Yeah, curfew.
Yeah, so at 9:59, it's fine. I can be outside. There's no virus. But 10:01, 10:02.
Yeah, to be honest. So martial law, you know, all that. I mean.
But this is, I think, when it starts. More people are going to start saying, what the hell? I don't get that. And this is where it's going to start. People are going to start saying, what the fuck?
Yep.
And
it's
also
time.
the thing,
I pray that we get to that point really
I think it has to get to that point. I think it will. And it's just part of their, but they do it sporadically, I noticed. So then now there's curfews here, or not curfews in California, curfews in France, in Australia. And then also that thing about the non-essentials, that was in the UK. I don't know if they still have that. Now it's in Manitoba, but they don't
Manitoba.
have it here. So it's like, why don't they put it everywhere at the same time? So do they want to make it seem like it's just random?
Oh no, because it would be because it would make it too obvious,
obvious?
right? Because if you
Yeah.
put it everywhere, they have to do it strategically. So it's like, oh, COVID really is up in cases in Manitoba because they're in the red zone, right? So we're not
I
in
guess
a
they
red
want to make
zone
it seem
yet.
like the health officer
So
of that particular province is the one that's mandating it. Really, obviously,
Yep.
we know it's coming from WHO, and
Yep.
they probably
Yep.
like either email them, okay, this is what you have to say today, Dr. Bonnie. There's got to be some kind of formal structure, but they do it like looks like it's random, but it's still coming from people above, obviously. But
It's a
that's what
script.
is going to wake
Yeah.
up. Yeah, it's a
Yep.
script, and that's what's going to wake up more people, I think, is the curfew, and also the non-essential
Curfews.
goods
Yep.
will be. Those are two that are, it's going to be like, what the
Yep.
hell? Because there's no, people will not, some people will try to justify, but at the end of the day, there's no winning argument for those people who try to justify those particular reasons to have us not either buy a laptop or leave our house at 10:05 p.m. How does that make sense? And they're not going to have an argument to stand on. Anybody will not have any argument at all. Like, I don't see how they can make a justification for that. That makes sense.
Yeah, and you know what, Chris? I heard people that really believe, people like Bonnie and Tam and everybody else. People should do their research of who these people work for. I mean, they all work for the WHO.
Both of them.
The WHO is part of the UN. So
Exactly.
people don't see
Rockefeller.
that is exactly. So who's running the show? It's the WHO. Who works for them? Bonnie, Tam, you name it. All of them work for these people. So if you're not questioning that, you really need to start questioning and start putting the puzzle together. And all we can do is just hope and pray. And maybe some people will still not wake up. That's not our journey. That's their journey.
Yeah.
But
it's just gonna get weird. Like, they don't even have to look at who's running it, which they should. But once it just starts saying you can't leave your house at a certain time, you can't buy certain pieces of whatever from your store, and it's all like Teflon or whatever, they got cardboard. Even if they don't know this stuff, they're gonna get pissed off and say, well, I want to leave my house this time. Why can't I? I want to buy my laptop for my son for Christmas. Why can't I? Oh, you can buy it online. Well, what does it matter where I buy it? If I can buy some food from the store, why can't I buy a clock or a hat or whatever the hell it is you want to buy? Yeah. It's gonna make those kind of people who don't know anything are just gonna get mad. Are they gonna stand up? I don't know, but they're gonna start questioning stuff a little bit. They obviously more and more people are just questioning things. It's never gonna go the other way where oh yeah, I looked at the conspiracy part. I kind of believed it, but now I'm gonna go back to listening to global news. It doesn't work that way. Once you've been lied to, you don't believe anything after that fact. It's like if someone's cheated on you, you don't believe anything they say after that fact. It takes a lot of time to build that trust back.
You can never gain that trust back. Once somebody screws you over, you will never go back. No.
We have, we can scream from the rooftops and do these videos 24 hours a day, but the more they try to control things and dictate things, they're just digging a bigger hole for themselves. We just have to hope enough people understand what's going on before the vaccines roll out. Yeah. And even the vaccines rolling out, when they make them mandatory to fly and all this shit, that's going to piss off tons of people too. And they will make it mandatory because, of course,
they will.
It's part of their plan. So that's it will
be mandatory. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So all these different fit in the end. So we just got to wait for more people to understand what's going on, and it's just going to happen. Like I said, we can scream from the rooftops and do these videos 24 hours a day. People will see it for themselves, and a lot of people don't give a shit. A lot of people are selfish, and they're not going to care unless it affects them directly in their life. Yep. So, and that's what's going to happen. It's going to affect you directly in your life. It's already been happening, and it'll continue to happen because we're not 10 months into this almost. Another week, and it'll be December, right? So 10 months, that was supposed to be 2 weeks. So it's just the way it is, and tyrannical governments always overstep their boundaries, and they're going to be eaten alive by all of the people like us. We're finally going to say enough's enough, and it will happen. I just don't know how many people are going to take the vaccine and die, maim themselves, become humanized transhumanist robots or whatever the hell it is. But like, there's no way that they're actually going to completely win this fight. People will die probably, but they can't, it's not like we're going to just, everyone's going to get vaccinated for human life.
No, and the most important thing is you got to fight. You got to fight.
Keep talking about it and just keep going and going and going and going. Like, it's, you know, it's just the way it is. I saw a couple of friends come on here and my cousin's nephew, and they know what's going on and stuff like that. And I challenge those guys to start posting videos like this and just, you know, keep talking about this, because it's just not going to go away. It's just, it is what it is, though. We're in the middle of it. It's a waiting game right now. We're waiting for.
It is a waiting game.
Yeah, it has to get actually draconian and more crazy for more people to start either standing up or just saying no or whatever the hell it is. So we just have to wait until that happens. And it's happening now, and it'll continue. They're going to tighten the screws, right? That's all we can do.
Well, let me tell you, I've been with a narcissist before, and narcissists are the same way. Basically, the mask falls off eventually.
Yeah.
They'll get away with it for a while, and the mask is falling off, and people are not buying the bullshit, and we just keep on fighting.
Oh yeah, there's just, well, we have no other choice now. Like, well, I absolutely have no other choice, and you know, it's just, that's all we're gonna keep doing. I'm gonna keep talking about this. It's pretty much all I think about, because like, what else can you really think about when it's the biggest thing in world history? Why would you actually sit there and think about other stuff too much? I don't see a point. Like, in all honesty, I haven't even really worked. Like, I work for myself and I do internet marketing. I haven't even really been doing too much of that in the last 9 months, because like all my phone more than I should. But it's hard to focus when you know what's going on and you just know where it's going to end up is the worst part. Where this is going to lead is just like, it's just, you can think that your life is going to be normal in a couple months, but there's just no way. Logically, there's absolutely no way this can happen, because this whole thing is built on a complete lie. And if it's, you know, if somebody lies about something, that means, you know, your husband lies to you and he says he was well, what else has he lied about then? It's like he probably hasn't lied about. He's probably lied about so many other different things. Like a lie, when you start with a lie, everything else after that is a lie. So COVID's a lie. So everything based on COVID after that is bullshit, and that's just how it works. So
that's why everybody has to get over. My phone's gonna die pretty soon, so I'll let you go. But you know, that's why everybody's got to get over this whole common cold. Just freaking take some natural remedies and you know, try to basically live your life and keep on fighting, you know?
Yeah, totally.
So
awesome. Well, that was a good talk, and I guess we'll see you tomorrow. You're going to be going there tomorrow then?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll see you tomorrow then. Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks, talking.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, you too.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Okay,
Take
bye.
care. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.